Alright, Kimbo White here. Just want to talk about the New Year's Eve K1 Field Dreams Dynamite event. K1 Koshin tournament, which is a high school semi-pro kickboxers getting ready to go pro featherweight tournament, which is really interesting because these guys are 17 years old, and it was really cool to watch them fight. They're very well skilled fighters at 17, and it's something that I'd really like to see happen more in the States and be sanctioned a little bit more as far as I've been to local shows where they have the underage guys doing the grappling and the submission tournaments, and even in the cage fights, the grappling matches under 18, but not striking full-on kickboxing matches like that under 18, and I think it's great for them. The first fight was Hiroya and Noiri, and Noiri just landed a huge big knee in the first round, and ended up with a unanimous decision. It was a real good scrap though. Ishida versus Shimada was the second K1 Koshin tournament fight. Shimada won that one, and then they fought in the final, Shimada and Noiri, and Noiri took it out to win the under 18 K1 Koshin tournament. And then we had the third match of the night in between those guys' matches to give them a break was Minnow Man versus Sokoju, and Sokoju come out, and second round was really putting it on Minnow Man, held him down, ground and pounded him really bad, had his face nice and hamburger beat up, and nobody really thought Minnow Man everybody thought he was pretty well done, just surviving is what it seemed like. And really, to be real honest, you could tell Sokoju gassed out completely in the third round, and Minnow Man landed a huge left hand that just knocked Sokoju plumb out, and right about the early stoppage, which ended up being the story of the night. Early stoppages. There was 3 or 4 of them that were controversial stoppages. But the ref's right there. He can see when a guy gets knocked out for a split second. And I say that every single one of these stops that happened last night were justified, because after the guy went down, there was going to be some vicious ground and pound or something. He wasn't going to win the fight. So more or less, they were just looking out for the good of the fighters. And but the crazy thing was, in the third round, these two guys got 2 yellow cards, which means Minnow Man probably got, they got 10% of their pay docked, is what happens when you get the second yellow card, which is something that I would really like to see happen and start happening in the UFC, is the yellow cards, because in the UFC we allow lay and pray, and we allow guys to stand and not fight for a whole round when they're gassed at the end of the fight. And it's something that is addressed verbally, but I'd really like to see that happen in the UFC. And then the next fight of the night, we had Ray Sefo come out, who's a K1 badass, and fight professional boxer Mishima, the K1 versus pro boxing match. So it started out very interesting. What everybody was thinking was Sefo's just going to kick the tar out of Mishima's knees, and that's going to be the end of the fight, pretty much. Really is not what happened. He did land a few brutal kicks on that front knee, but I believe they said that he hurt his ankle or something on one of those kicks. Sefo did, in the first round, so he stopped throwing a lot of kicks. He didn't throw really any more kicks the whole round, or the whole fight. He only landed a few more. He outboxed Mishima hands down. Just outboxed him and outclassed him. And, he outboxed the boxer, threw very few kicks, and won all 3 rounds. So, hats off to Ray Sefo. Overeem versus Vegeta was a joke. First round knockout. Just keep feeding the idiot a bunch of cans and watching him beat him up. What the hell? James Thompson and Vegeta. I actually had hope in hell of Vegeta knocking him out, but what? Whatever, man. I think the dude's the biggest joke there is in MMA, and it sucks because he's tough as hell. Obviously, could probably be in the top tier of competition in the world, but won't put himself there. Lets his management handpick cans for him to beat up on, and it sucks. So maybe he'll fight a fight where he's actually going to have to fight soon. Come to Strikeforce in April and fight Fedor if he had any balls. And then Mousasi and Goodridge was ridiculous. Mousasi didn't have to try. He just bent over and stuck his shoulder in Gary's gut and put him on his ass and pounded his face. They stopped the fight. First round TKO. Manhoff and Misaki. Fast stop again, story of the night. I think this one here was probably justifiably fast, even though it was still pretty much the same story. He would have got pounded most likely in the position he was at on the ground. He might have been able to pull something out of his ass. He was going for some type of heel hook or leg lock, but it probably was just the referee doing him a favor. Manhoff with the TKO victory. And going over Sakurai, looked like he was got him down, wallered him. It was a decent little stand-up fight for a minute. Gono threw him down on his back, and I thought he was going to get the choke in. Sakurai was walling around there, and Gono just flops around, has him in an arm bar before you know it, and damn near took his arm home with him. Wasn't too bad. And then Shinya Aoki, what more can you say? Guy's impressive. His face, and it was an arm lock that was like a reversed arm bar type deal. It was a very impressive move, like normal. And I've said for a long time, this guy could beat BJ Penn. UFC didn't sign him, couldn't sign him, or whatever the hell. He goes everywhere Fedor goes, so he's definitely going to be the new Strikeforce lightweight champion. There's no doubt about that. So keep an eye on him this year, because he's going to be doing even bigger things. Trust me. And in the main event, Yoshida defeats Ishii in an upset. I wish that I would have made an official prediction on this fight, but I didn't want to pick against Ishii, and wasn't real sure about it, and it was the craziest thing because everybody expected it to go to the ground. Ishii tried to ground and pound Yoshida tried to pull off the submission, and it was the exact opposite. They stood up the whole time. And it was really a crazy looking fight because, it seemed like Ishii was rocked early on and just never really fully recovered from it. But overall, real good night of fights, and interesting to see a couple of old cans get thrown out to Overeem and Mousasi. We'll see if they give them some real competition in Strikeforce this next time. Something better than So Could You. Everybody have a good night. Been Last Word with Kimbo White. Happy New Year.